it's Antia Boyd.
And Boyd.
And we're the creators of the Magnetize The Man Summit. So really excited for you to jump right into the next interview because we have created this for you to stop attracting emotionally unavailable men, overcome your trust issue, and so much more. So you attract that right man for you that makes you feel seen, cherished, and supported.
Can't wait to see you inside the interview and get you on the path to magnetizing your man once and for all. See you there. Look forward to it.
Mwah! Hello and welcome. I'm Antia Boyd, your leader of the Magnetize The Man Summit, where single successful women learn how to crack the attraction code and live their happily ever after. Isn't that what we're all after anyways? And with that, we have a very special guest here with me today. I have actually a man. Okay, ladies, I know it's really exciting. Because how many times do you wonder, gosh, I wish I would know how are men thinking? I need some perspective from men. And today, I have Mark Rosenfeld here with me today, all the way from Australia. So Mark, say hi.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here. Did you know, up until this point, when you introduced yourself today, I thought your name was Anita. I didn't realize it was Antia. My bad. What am I doing?
That's why I introduced myself first. You know what I mean?
All over the shop. Thank you for having me.
Everybody in the room knows my name. Awesome. So, ladies, let me tell you a little bit about Mark because he's really quite a great fella, so to say. So,
thank you.
So after struggling with his own shyness throughout high school and early years of college, Mark turned things around in 2009 and was soon teaching confidence in life and dating to other shy men. Interesting. So this continued until 2011 when he took a job as a professional stripper. I mean, ladies, we want to get some good content here. Through working with men at either end of the confidence spectrum, Mark came to a true understanding of the actions men take and how they think as it relates to women. So Square profile pic throughout his years as a dancer across cities, countries, and while in a happy relationship himself, Mark interacted with over 50,000 women, many of whom upon meeting him open up about their own dating lives, I bet. Soon he began to notice patterns and started coaching, dating to women he knew personally. So over time, more and more women came, of course, right? Honey to bees, or bees to honey, came to him for advice. He began work on, same old finger on too. He began work on Make Him Yours. Isn't that what you want? In 2014, sharing what he learned to help women stop the frustrating patterns in their dating lives and start attracting the man they deserve. So since launching, he's been featured on News.com, Style Magazine, Thought Catalog, Elite Daily, The Good Man Project, which we of course know about, and more. And his content online has been viewed more than 20 million times. So with that, welcome, Mark.
Thank you again. That was, I've got to shorten that bio, don't I? Thank you for having me.
I love it. I love it. And ladies, today we're going to talk about something really yummy because we're going to be talking about dating several men. Okay, so I really love that topic because so many times I know you're wondering, oh my God, is it cheating? And I don't feel good about this and yada yada. So hear from an expert how men actually like that and what you can do to fill up your man funnel. Because, you know, people always say in sales, you know, fill up your lead funnel. Why not fill up the man funnel too? Okay.
Why not? I love it.
Why not? So tell us a little bit about why women should date. What are the benefits of like really doing multiple dating versus saying, well, I'm a serial monogamist, so you know, like I want to, you know, I don't want to like step into that unknown, so to say.
Yeah, great question. And this is something that a lot of women do kind of struggle with, and it's something that I've found so helpful for my clients. There is a whole bunch of reasons. There's a whole bunch of reasons multi-dating or dating multiple men, more than one at the same time, is really effective. We can go from things like balancing brain chemicals, So if you want an interesting book, great book about brain chemicals, what happens, pick up Why We Love by Helen Fisher and have a look at the effect dopamine has on your brain, the way it tunnel visions you and the way it isolates that, it rose-colored glasses you. So what it allows you to do is, first of all, just have more balance throughout your dating straight away. If you're seeing 3 men as opposed to 1 on a casual, open basis, which we'll talk about soon, already you're making better decisions because you're less under the influence of dopamine. Many, many more things beyond that. Simple math says the more men you're meeting, the more chance you have of finding the right one. You know, I have a friend who she was actually casually dating someone, and then she met her, this was casual, they were both casual, and then she met her now fiance while they were dating. And, you know, she hadn't been open to other people and been, you know, keeping her eyes peeled for the person that really matched with her and giving everyone a chance, she wouldn't have found that. You meet more men, your social and flirting skills go up, you get more confidence. It weeds out the guys you don't want. This is one that women really forget. And we'll talk about the boyfriend benefits a bit later on. There's a lot of men who are insecure out there. There are a lot of insecure men who are players or who are narcissists, who are all the types that you don't want to attract. And healthy multi-dating makes those men very uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. So a lot of times they just weed themselves out. Honestly, they'll probably call you a whore in the process. That's cool. They weed themselves out and you're done. You, not only are you filtering in better men, you are filtering out the ones you don't want. So there's advantages in terms of meeting more men, in terms of bringing the right ones in terms of getting the wrong ones out. I think the big thing as well is that most men are in this mindset, right? Men rarely come to dating thinking, okay, I'm going to girlfriend this. Men come to dating selling themselves on the idea. So most men who are high value guys that you want to meet, they're going well in their jobs, you know, they're happy in their careers, they're dating along, things are going great for them. And if they meet a person who they have a great experience with, then they consider a relationship with that person. Because that woman improves his life, she gives him these great emotional experiences, she supports him, she gives him love and companionship, and suddenly he's like, oh, this is really awesome. I actually want a relationship with this. So those men, it gives them time to sell themselves, or they take the time to sell themselves. And if you've sold yourself straight away while he's still going, you know what, I'm going to wait and see, unfortunately it creates this weird this misbalanced power dynamic where it's like he's the chooser, as in he's still choosing and you've chosen, which does kill attraction because it's misbalanced. If he gets to still choose and feels like, oh, I'm going to suss her out and see, then you should be still choosing and going, hey, I'm going to suss him out and see. And we'll talk about the hows. It's not about rubbing it in his face or anything like that. It's just keeping that qualifying mindset, which is like, hey, you could lose me too. And whether I am dating someone else or whether you can just guess if I'm dating someone else, I'm not giving you the safety and security of knowing that, you know, I'm monogamous to you until you reciprocate that back to me. So a whole bunch of really positives there. And we'll talk about the one negative that will come out is that a lot of women see it as dishonest or manipulative, and it doesn't have to be that at all. It's an unfortunate reality that many, particularly the women who have said that, but just society's culture in general, has their multi-dating experience from people who have done it dishonestly and people who have done it in a manipulative manner. And the two have been linked. And what your job is to do is unlink those, because that's just the way some men have done it. And men, as I say, will almost always start in this multi-dating mindset. So it doesn't have to be dishonest. It doesn't have to be, under the table, sly, the way it can sometimes feel.
Yeah, and I think it also depends on the culture, right? So I think here in the US, I almost felt like singles assume that you're dating other people. And I know in Germany, for example, we don't even know what dating is. Like either you're dating or in a relationship. So I think it also depends, right? So, but if you are in the US, like you can assume. What do you have to say about that?
The cultures, Yeah, the cultures can definitely vary. Here's the thing though, you've got to do what you believe is in your best interest, right? The stronger frame will always win out. So if you go to Germany, you're not, what's the word? You're not forced to date the German way. You're allowed to, you might have to adjust the way you do it. For example, we'll talk about if you feel the men are being misled, then you'll have to correct that at some point on the line. You might have to adapt in Germany and do that a bit earlier and set up that casual frame earlier, right? But if you believe in multi-dating, or even if you don't, whatever you believe works for you, you got to live your life that way. You know, you can't be living your life based on others' expectations. So if you believe, as I do, that this is an effective way to meet a great partner, you make it happen, and then perhaps do some adjustments based on the culture, but you make it happen.
Yeah, so did I. When I came to the US, I'm like, what is dating, you know? And but I really believe, you know, and I was like, this is kind of fun, you know? So
yeah.
once
It's so much fun. It's so much fun, yeah. And it gives you such confidence, and such confidence in your social skills, confidence in your attractiveness, confidence in just your ability to meet and connect with people, to have fun. You know, so often dating gets seen as this means to an end. It's like, I haven't been successful if this guy's not the one. And I can tell you, just the successes in my own lives, in my clients' lives, that have nothing to do with meeting the one. Just the great people I've met through dating. Like, I think almost every person I've dated, I still have on my Facebook, and I can still chat to if, you know, would still chat to from time to time. The great experiences, you know, where are you ever going to meet like a PhD philosopher and get to know his story, or a plumber and get to know his story? You know, you can live vicariously through these people you meet, and even if it's just for a one night date, hear someone's story. And not just the people too, even the environment. You know, if I'm wanting to have a bunch of fun on a date, then, you know, there's certain places I know I can go where, like, I could be on a date with a mute monkey and I'd have fun, just because it's like the cliffs, or it's like the park that I love, or it's just a great time to get out. So I think there's so much to dating that gets left behind in this, and we get outcome focused in, I have to meet the one, or it's a failure, when there's so many gifts that it can bring us when we see the other great things about it.
Yeah, and I love that you talk about that, right? That you don't date for an outcome, but you date for, I always tell my women that you go shopping for attributes, right? So if you go shopping for attributes, you're not going to be like, oh my God, is this my store that I'm going to go forever and every dress fits? You know, it's like, no, you just kind of, oh, this looks good.
Yeah, you go to a bunch of stores. You check it out. You don't get obsessed with just one.
You know what jewelry looks good. You don't take it personal if it doesn't look good. You know?
Yeah, right? Right? You move on, yeah.
You know, and what would you tell, so let's say, you know, because of course we have the anxious attachment style, the avoidant attachment style. So let's say a woman kind of senses that a man is more anxious and feels like, you know, when should she tell him that she is dating other men? Do you have a rule about that?
Yeah. There's no rule. I think it's unfair to put hard rules on things because every situation is different. You've got to get a feel for that, and you've got to get a sense for when that's necessary. Some guys, particularly in Western culture, it's always assumed that, particularly from men who are going, things are casual until we say they're not. I.e., until we have a chat, until we actually say, oh, we're going to do monogamy, then things are going to be not monogamous, or at least casual till then. We're still allowed to go on other dates, etc. So that's going to be the way it starts, and then you've got to judge as things go along. You know, it can be, and depending, you know, whether with sex, some people want to do sex with multi-dating, some don't. Either way is fine. We can talk about that if you like, but you've got to just basically read the situation, and if you feel someone is being misled, then it's on you to clarify. So if a guy's being particularly anxious, he's saying, yeah, I want you, you know, there's a couple of ways to do it. You can say sort of hey, look, at the moment, I'm just in a casual sort of mindset. I'm looking to meet people. I'm really enjoying connecting with you and want to keep doing that. Just so you know, though, I want to keep things open for now. And, you know, if he bounces away from that, you might say, oh, that's bad, but maybe you actually filtered out a codependent guy when you did that.
Oh, yeah.
So,
definitely.
Again, you're living in your own frame. That's what's most important. The other thing you can do is kind of frame it as a way that you're looking after yourself, because I've dealt with a lot of women who have the same pattern. You know, they're attracting narcissists over and over again, or they're attracting players over and over again. And you can actually, you know, if a secure guy is really into you, you can actually present the information in a healthy way and say, honestly, I really like you. And I'm going to tell you something else, is that I've made mistakes in the past. I've committed to the wrong people. And so I made a promise to myself. This has nothing to do with you. I made a promise to myself that I would not commit to anyone within 12 weeks of meeting them. That, you know, I'd keep things open and relaxed, and I would be single but dating for at least 12 weeks. So that's a promise I made to myself. I would love your support in that. I'm really enjoying seeing you. If not, I totally understand as well. And the guys, like, only a jerk would be like, F off at that stage. A good guy's going to support you through that, see what happens, and 12 weeks will go by, assuming he keeps up that good behavior.
Right. You know, yeah. I mean, I was dating several guys too when I met my husband, and he was just all cool about it. And he's like, she's going to figure it out eventually, you know?
Yeah. Because a good guy's going to be like, well, if she wants a different dude, she should go with a different dude. Like, I want to be the best one or not at all kind of thing.
Right. That's how you think. It might be also that you're exploring too. So I think, you know, like, it's also not supernatural that everybody is just like knows right away 100%. I mean, my husband knew right away, but you know, like, so it's also a good sign of health to be like, yeah, just let's see how things go, how they develop. No reason to do anything, you know.
Absolutely. And you know, obviously we both work with women in their 30s who can often be quite keen for a family or something like that soon. And even in those situations, you know, I tell my clients, like, you can frame it as like, if the topic comes up for some reason, you know, let's say the guy suggests it's an anxious guy. You go, are you looking for kids, commitment? You can actually say yes, but shoot it down at the same time, and it keeps the guy interested. For example, you can say, do you know what? Yeah, like, I'm probably looking for that in the next 5 years, but like, I'm not thinking about that right now. I want to get to know people, and then, like, that would come way later. So you're kind of saying it's on the table. You're not kicking away the guys who want that. You're also still qualifying them, and you're in that attractive mindset where you're like, well, you should be slowing down here, because I'm actually assessing you. Like, I don't care what age I am. I'm going to be assessing you as a future person, a future partner, way before we even get down that road.
Yeah, I always tell the ladies, imagine you're the bachelorette, right? Of course, in Australia, it's the bachelorette too. And, you know, you just have to figure out what roses to hand out. You know what I mean? You're not figuring out who's the one now.
This is it. Do you know what would make The Bachelor great? Is if every woman on that show was dating 4 other men. Then The Bachelor would get interesting, because you'd have to do some fucking work, right? Yeah, you'd have to actually step, as opposed to this ridiculous lopsided. Do you see the interesting thing? You know, I heard a joke about The Bachelor, which said, The Bachelor is a show about a man who dates multiple women, watched predominantly by an audience of women who typically dislike men who date multiple women. So I thought that was an interesting quote, and it kind of reflects, like, this thing in society where it's like more okay for the man to do that. And I call bullshit on that. It's like, she will make better decisions, because you see the women on that show, you see the disproportionate investment, and you see how he's doing all the qualifying and they're being the qualifiers. Bugger that frame, set your own frame where the guy qualifies to you, and you'll have the Bachelor coming to you, proving himself.
No, I love that, you know, like, just really like, oh, how would that be if everybody was dating other people? Would they still pick that person, right? So
probably not in most circumstances.
And also in The Bachelor, it really comes up, this whole conversation around sex, the fantasy suite, you know, 3 women. So what's your take on that, and how should women navigate that? And I know there's no real, like, 100% should, but what are some of the recommendations you have for women
in terms of sex, multi-dating and sex? It's up to the individual and the individual's risk tolerance. So you can be no sex before marriage and have 0 risk, or you can be going to Burning Man orgies every week and have a much higher level of risk. At the end of the day, everyone chooses their own risk level. I think one of the difficult things with multi-dating is if you decide to sleep with one person, because to some extent it kind of misses the point, because then you're firing all that dopamine at the one guy from sex? And are you able to give those other guys a fair chance when you're sleeping with one already? That's my kind of argument with that. Is it can work if you're really sensible about it. However, you are definitely giving an advantage to that guy you're sleeping with. So you've got to know your own sort of the way your own hormones work, how good you are at making decisions under dopamine influence to decide on that. So, there's 4 options. You can do that. Some women I coach actually have their booty call, who they go to, who they know is not a date, but he's just good in bed, and they date dateable guys from that. So they just have a guy they can call once a month or once every couple of weeks, and that's just sex. That's all it is. And obviously safe sex, etc. at all times. And then they'll date from that. I have a couple of clients who just say no sex, which works for them. They're not that confident in their ability yet to make good decisions after sex, which is still something they'll need, by the way, when they start sleeping with the guy. But for now, it helps them in their dating. Or I have women who, to me, are just sexually empowered. They go after what they want. They practice safe sex at all times. They understand the risks, and they enjoy their bodies and their pleasure with more than one man at the same time. And I think that's really cool too. So it's really up to the individual, your sort of risk tolerance versus enjoyment level, I guess, how connected you are to sex and how regularly you want to have it, your ability to make good decisions through dopamine. No right answer there. There's pros and cons to every way.
Yeah, and to add on to that, Mark, what I always tell my women is, if you can walk away from sex and be, not so impacted by it and still be able to date other men, do your thing, then you can have sex early on or whatever, right? But if you're someone who has sleep with someone, you go crazy and you're checking your phone every 5 minutes because the dopamine and the oxytocin certainly is like taking over your body, then don't do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I agree. You must be able to qualify men after sex. There shouldn't be a weird shift where you become you're like, he's the chooser after sex and you're the choosee. It should basically be the same dynamic.
Yeah.
I can definitely back that up. I'd say probably, 4 to 5 absolutely exceptional women who have either been girlfriends of mine or who I couldn't get at the time because I was too shy to be a girlfriend or whatever. Out of those 4 to 5, I'd say 3 or 4 of those 5. I think 4 of those 5 would have slept with me either the first date or before. So it just sort of shows it's not about the timing, but they were all very confident in qualifying me after sex. There was I knew they were willing to walk away after sex. And yeah, you're absolutely right. If you're feeling like you're struggling to make those decisions, then delaying sex might be the better option for you. The interesting argument to that is that a lot of those women who I've found have struggled with that are women who haven't had a lot of partners. So there's an argument, I'm not necessarily saying it's right, but there's an interesting argument that says when those women build up more sexual confidence by actually having more sex, they will be able to better make those decisions after sex. I had one client who was kind of like that. She'd had a couple of partners and that was all she slept with. And then she actually came to me and she said, Mark, I really want to empower myself. I just want to enjoy my body more and not have sex on this big pedestal. And she decided to go out and get herself a friends with benefits and explore a couple of guys. And literally after about sort of 6 weeks of this, she said, I'm asking for what I want now. I'm feeling so much more empowered in my body. Like, guys are pleasuring me. I feel like I'm getting sex now as much as giving it. And she got herself into a really confident place with sex. So yeah, there's interesting discussions to be had there, in my opinion. I think, as you say, you've got to decide on your decision-making ability after sex, and if you want to build that confidence from even more sex, whether you really choose that and then go after it.
Yeah, and that's, again, it goes back to your self-awareness. You just really got to be honest with yourself. There's nobody standing next to you unless you have a mentor, wink, wink, who helps you with that, right? But otherwise, you just got to be, you got to be honest with yourself. Like, you can't be like, oh yeah, no, I'm good, but you're like lying to yourself and,
Yeah. And then you end up just sleeping with one guy and then you're not really multi-dating because you're just sleeping with the one guy and then that's not really what is the point of it. Yeah, totally. So what's as we're coming to an end, what's one takeaway that you can give
women, or like one tip that they can implement right away when it comes to dating multiple men?
Okay. Think about the boyfriend benefit of exclusivity. So many women are focused on sex as if that's the prize and that's the thing. And then it's like this other boyfriend benefit of exclusivity kind of just gets, of monogamy, kind of just gets thrown in. It's like you go to Kmart and you get a free, I don't know, whatever with your purchase. Like it's almost like it's thrown in as a bonus with no thought. And, you know, as a single woman, you have more options than the average single man. You don't believe me, log into online dating as a man and see how many messages you get in your inbox versus as a woman. You know, I'm not saying they're all good options. However, there's more options. There's more people. Most women can go out and pick up something if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got those options there. If you work on your social skills, you'll have those options there. Thus, ironically, staying single actually presents more benefits to you than it does the average man, because you have more options. Getting into multi-dating is actually easier for you. You're going to have more men that want you. And that's huge. That's huge. You know, you could be multi-dating. The fifth next guy you meet could be the one. And if you don't value this boyfriend benefit of exclusivity and you just go, you know what, he's okay, I'll just date this one guy at a time for 6 months, you're throwing in this huge benefit, this huge sacrifice. I think that's the word. It's a sacrifice that you're making for someone, a stranger, really, that you've been on 2 dates with. And that's a big sacrifice. So never forget that your exclusivity cannot be assumed. It's something that has to be earned. It's something that has to be, first of all, reciprocated by a man who's willing to give it back, but also earned by a guy who meets your standards. So I would say, you know, sex is important, safe sex is important. In terms of boyfriend benefits, really think about exclusivity. And rather than asking yourself so much, should I sleep with him, whether it's before or after sex, ask yourself, should I make this sacrifice and commit to him? And then you'll be qualifying men, and then you'll be meeting lots of men, and then you'll really find the guys that want to step up and meet those standards. Don't just float into monogamy accidentally. Really make a decision on it and make it it's a big decision. It's not a thing you can make after 2 dates to a stranger you're not too sure about. You got to, I'd take that decision really seriously, because that's a sacrifice.
Because it's like that's it. You know what I mean? You can't go out with anybody else. Like you're set on the flame.
Yeah, that's it.
You can't try any other.
Could be the last date you have for years. Right, you know? Exactly.
Like, yeah, totally.
It's big, yeah.
Well, I could talk to you forever, Mark. So, like, of course, we have to bring this to an end. But for the ladies who are like, my goodness, I have so much more to learn from this man. You know, how can they find you? What do you have for them?
Beautiful. So you can check out makehimyours.com. Head to makehimyours.com, or you can search YouTube for my name to find my content. You can download the free first chapter of my book, which is now available. You can grab that from either the YouTube channel or head to makehimyours.com.au/book. makehimyours.com.au/book. Download the first chapter of that one right now. And on the sex topic, I'll even throw in a bonus if you'd like it. Sexting guide. I built a sexting guide, which is a lot of fun. It's the way to master the art of erotic wording over sex. So you're not sending photos around, but you can create that cool sexual tension. Head to makehimyours.com.au/sexting for that one. Bit of fun. I love sexting. I think it's such a relationship gift. You know, as opposed to a photo, you know, which is like, if that went online and there's a lot of risk there and it's kind of like, whoa, you can write a good sext, mate. You'd be proud if that was shown online. When it's well worded and beautifully done, that's like, yeah, you want to show that off. So yeah, check out those 2 gifts. makehimyours.com.au/book and /sexting.
And we'll also put the link for the free gift below of Mark. So if you couldn't write it down so fast, we'll have the link below. So you definitely can check that out. And
thank you.
Thank you so much for being here, Mark. I had so much fun. I'm sure the ladies had so much fun too. And
yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. And ladies, I'll see you on the next interview. Take care. Bye-bye. Was that absolutely delicious? We just love how every single expert has those juicy pieces of wisdom for you to enjoy. Look, if you want to own the entire Magnetize the Man series, we invite you to get our Magnetize the Man VIP All Access package. Not only will you own the entire video series, but also you will get our Magnetize the Man Masterclass that teaches you the 3-step formula, step by step, on how to attract the right man for you. You also get some other juicy secret trainings and a one-on-one call with me where we personalize your individual journey to attract that right man for you as soon as possible. So look, to get that, click the link below that says get access now, and you get it all. Own the entire series, including all the juicy bonuses, well worth over $1,400 for nearly the fraction of the cost. All right, we will see you in the next interview.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Mwah.
Mwah.